Welcome back, folks. We have some more useful expressions we are going to talk about. If you are following along, this is on page 10 in Nakama 1. We are going to talk about daily greetings. Greeting people properly is important in all cultures. In Japanese, the phrases used when greeting people vary according to the time of day, similar to how they do in America. We say things like good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night. And we have a couple of different ways to say these in Japanese. So the first one that we have is ohayo gozaimasu. So ohayo gozaimasu. Ohayo gozaimasu. This is good morning, and obviously we use this in the morning. This would be considered a formal way of saying good morning to someone. If you wanted to be casual, so if you were greeting a friend or a family member, you could just say ohayo, ohayo, ohayo. So we have an example situation here of two students who would greet each other by saying ohayo, and then the student greeting the teacher has to be more formal. So they would say ohayo gozaimasu, and then the teacher would say ohayo, because they don't have to be as formal to the student since they are at a higher class than them of being the teacher. You have to show respect to your elders. And then if it's two people who don't really know each other very well, they would both use ohayo gozaimasu. So if it's the afternoon and we want to greet someone in the afternoon, we would say konnichiwa. So it's konnichiwa, konnichiwa. And if it's evening, we would say konbanwa, konbanwa, konbanwa. And similar to what we talked about before in sensei, the yo in ohayo, we are just stretching out that o pronunciation. In general, these phrases are used in both casual and formal situations. The expression ohayo gozaimasu does have that less formal version, which is ohayo, which I mentioned before can be used with friends or family members. You don't want to use this with superiors or in formal situations, so you wouldn't want to just greet your teacher with ohayo. That's kind of like just saying, good morning, what's up? You need to show a bit more formality when speaking to your elders like that. If you see the same person more than once on the same day, using these phrases each time you meet would sound rather silly. In that case, you could just bow slightly or just talk about something else. Now, some of you might have noticed, hold on, that's the character ha. We just talked about that in our last lesson about hiragana. Why are you pronouncing it as wa? So it's special when it is used in konnichiwa and konbanwa. Although it is the character ha, you pronounce it wa. So if you were to write it, or if you were to type it, you would put in ha, or write the character ha. But you need to make sure that when you pronounce it as wa. And something else that's interesting to note is that you don't really use konnichiwa or konbanwa with family members. So now, hanashite mimashou. Let's do some conversation practice. So find someone near you, and we are going to practice the following situations. It is morning. You meet an elderly neighbor on the street, and you need to greet them. Another situation that we have, imagine that class is about to begin in the morning. Greet your instructor and classmates, nodding slightly rather than bowing. So make sure that you use the correct greeting depending on how you would greet them in the morning. Greet a friend in the morning, greet your instructor in the afternoon, then greet a friend in the evening. And the last one, we won't be walking around, but you will be able to go and point at different people that you will talk to, or you can go and talk to people online, and you can pick different classmates and make sure that you use the correct greeting depending on the time of day. All right, that's going to be it for this lesson. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.